Let's get physical. It's Jordan here, back again with this week's update on all the physical releases coming to the Nintendo Switch, April the 20th until the 24th. Let's see what we've got this week. Shuten Order is releasing this week in Europe. North America will have to wait until next week, unfortunately. It's releasing not only on Nintendo Switch, but also Nintendo Switch 2 as a proper cartridge. It is a Nintendo Switch 2 edition, meaning that Switch 2 physical is also playable on the OG Switch. This is a visual novel, a weird one that probably got more attention outside of VN circles rather than in them. Some say it's a stroke of genius visual novel, others say they don't get it. You get 5 VN styles in one, all of which culminate together at the end. I thought it was pretty decent from what I read, and my executive producers, Kevin W., Big Bruno, and Sora Cat, have chosen this as their pick of the week. And if you want it or any of the retail games in this video, please consider purchasing via the links in the description and pinned comment. That massively helps support me and this series in the best way possible so I can keep producing useful physical content for you guys. Plus, VGP are a really nice company with free worldwide shipping on orders over 75 Canadian bucks, like 55 American dollars. Plus, each week if you buy something, you are put into a draw to have a chance of winning a $10 discount coupon. And this week's winner is Gavin S. Congratulations, Gavin. You should get an email from VGP in the coming days with your discount coupon. If you don't, just hit me up and I'll sort it out for you. 9 Souls is finally releasing physically this week on Nintendo Switch. It'll also be on PlayStation 5. This might be an indie game, but it was a sensational hit when it released digitally, selling millions of copies. And it came out at just the right time, when people were still aching for some Silk Song. This was a very, very capable stopgap that some people claim is actually better than Silk Song. A Metroidvania with Sekiro-style parry system, which is not my preferred style of combat. I'm more of a mash buttons and deal with the consequences later kind of guy. This is going to be an essential purchase if you enjoy side-scrolling action Metroidvania games, and my executive producers Super Ben Julio, Azrath, Adamantium, God of Resin, Switch Effect, Dead Bunny's YouTube, Dave Huswaite, Juice250, and Surfacing for Air have chosen this as their pick of the week. Reptilian Rising is releasing in Europe this week as an exclusive over there, coming in a standard edition as well as a collector's edition. This is a ridiculous looking game. It's probably going to be a bit naff, but I can't help but applaud the ridiculous premise. It is a tactical RPG where you recruit famous people throughout history and then fight against alien dinosaurs. It is the reason video games were invented. It's so dumb, it might actually work. The limited edition comes with a 56-page graphic novel, as well as a downloadable soundtrack. Rushing Beat X Return of Brawl Brothers, a quick mention to this, which is releasing in North America this week, after releasing in Europe last month. It is a proper cartridge on Nintendo Switch 2. It's also coming to PlayStation 5, in a standard edition, as well as a steelbook edition. Supposedly a fun but low budget beat 'em up that's the 4th game in the series. The others were all on the Super Nintendo, so it's been a while, and my executive producers Mr. Awesome and Madhawk110, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. Alright, the low print limited releases, the pre-orders. Minishoot Adventures is Super Air's latest. No, wait, it's their first Nintendo Switch 2 physical release. And at first glance, it's a bit of a peculiar choice. It doesn't scream like, premium Switch 2 proper physical release, but apparently it is an exceptionally good game. Reviews for it are excellent. It's like a twin-stick Zelda game bullet hell shmup, which has been done before, quite a few times actually, but it's just very well made despite the rubbish name. For their first release, it is an open pre-order with shipping estimated for July. Moving on from their Switch releases, they're not stopping doing them, but on Switch 2 especially, they are getting rid of those horrible plastic bags that make it look like homemade cookies at a bake sale. A cost-cutting exercise that's actually for the best. Trading cards are also now not included. You can buy them separately for a very dumb price. It's coming in a standard edition as well as a collector's edition. Pre-orders open on Thursday, and my executive producers Brent McLean, Viz, Firm Returns, Dane Wilkinson, Jake Vav, and Lewis K, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. Little Goody Two Shoes is one of 2 limited run releases featured in this episode, and I know this is a very highly requested game to be getting a physical release. An indie game published by Square Enix, this is like a horror adventure game that looks so awesome. I love the old school anime aesthetic. It's got a mix of things going on, but it's definitely more than meets the eye. While there is action and puzzle, there's also like life sim elements going on, having day jobs and social links, and probably not selling it very well, but I do think it will be a very big popular release for limited run. And my executive producers Cartoon Soren, Cole Animals, Ghost Bune, Jennifer M, Danielle O, Miami Sunrise, Jimmy A. Guerrero, and my brand new executive producer, Mr. Lee from Eastern NC on eBay. They've chosen this as their pick of the week. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night Complete Edition. A quick mention to this, which is actually happening this week. You may remember this was supposed to go for order a few weeks or months back. However, when somebody brought up the DRM in the original release that Limited Run had no idea about, they didn't actually open the pre-orders until they knew exactly what the deal was. And the deal is, this complete edition will not have DRM, which is good news. It also has all the DLC and updates to make it a much better proposition compared to the original retail release. And my executive producers Instacritic and OGCIB, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. Alright, let's jump into the import section, Play Asia territory. If you want to pre-order any of these, you want to import them, you can do so via my Play Asia links. And if you do click my link, you can use my code Jordan2026 to get 5% off, but you must click my link first these days. And I've also had some conflicting reports from Play Asia themselves, some mixed messaging about my code. Apparently they do have plans for codes in the future, but they have stated that maybe Jordan 2026 may not be relevant in the very near future at the end of April. Why? I don't know. What will happen with it? I don't know. But be prepared that it might actually disappear forever. Castle of Shikigami 3 is releasing in Japan this week. Sadly, it does not have English, but it is a shmup. Third game in the series. I've only played the second one when that released on the Switch back a few years ago. I found that to be a rather enjoyable time. Budgeted shmup even for the era, but I like the balance it had with the different characters and gameplay mechanics. Shmup fans will probably want to take a look at this. However, Castle of Shikigami Triology is a release that is a much better prospect for shmup fans. Not only does it include the third game that I just talked about, not only does it include the second game, which did get a release already a while back, but it is also the only way to get the first game physically too. The first game is only being sold physically in this triple pack. It is a pricey package, but I've already got my pre-order in, which it's been a while since I've actually bought anything, so that has to say something about its appeal. And my executive producers Dave Horworth, AMH, and Nerdy Sean, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. However, it is worth noting that I did see a post from the publisher saying that they were working with a Western publisher in some capacity. However, who knows what that will involve? Will it just be a digital release they're talking about? Will it be a physical release? I don't know, a triple pack with limited run, maybe only the third game, who knows, but we'll have to see. Kingdom's Return, Time Eating Fruit and the Ancient Monster is releasing in Japan this week on Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 5, a cheap, cheerful import exclusive that will play in English, and this is from Inti Creates, and it is a side-scrolling action game that also mixes in some kingdom building sort of gameplay, which, has some sort of old Japanese PC game vibes to it. Looks great, and it's coming in a standard edition as well as a limited edition, which has an art book, 2-disc soundtrack, and an acrylic keychain. And my executive producers Alexander Kato, The Nemo 6, and they've chosen this as their pick of the week. From Mission First Remake, Smart Price Edition is releasing in Japan this week. Not a massively important release, especially since it is a game that is widely available in every region already, has been for years at this point. However, it is worth pointing out because I contacted the publisher to find out if this cheap price edition would include all the latest patches and updates on the cartridge, and they said yes it would, which is nice. So if you want the best version physically, well, so far, this will be it. And my executive producer, D's Nuts, he's chosen this as his pick of the week. GigaSword, a quick mention to this, which is releasing in Japan this week. It's already been out in Asia for quite a while now. Japan is also getting these 4 games, neither of which have English, and I'm very sad that the bottom one doesn't because that looks pretty good. Before I get into the community spotlight, if you are new here, or maybe you're not the kind to normally do so, hit that subscribe button, okay? It will be the best thing you do today, I promise you. Alright, the community spotlight. Bent S sent in this photo showing off Broken Sword, which, some good news, the second game is getting a remaster too, and it just launched on Kickstarter with the physical guaranteed as well, and I'm very excited. In many ways, I'm more nostalgic for the second game. Bloody Knight sent in this photo with a perfectly timed showcase of the house in Fata Morgana, now that it's been announced to be getting a much celebrated European physical release. Cartoon Soren sent in this photo, picking up Neverwinter Nights 2 from Limited Run Games, a big, quite expensive game, and VGP have it in stock right now. Cole Animal sent in this photo, picking up both Komajo Remelia games from Limited Run, still a little cheesed off with how the second game was handled, with English being removed from the Japanese release at the last minute in order to appease Limited Run's release. Scummy behavior that I hope to never see again. Danielle O sent in this photo, picking up Homie Cypher, one of the more interesting imports of the year, probably not very popular, but really intriguing to me. Dave Horworth sent in this photo, picking up 2 limited editions of Hyper Devotion Noir, pretty good game, and this import is the only way to get it in English on your Switch. David S sent in this photo showing off some collector's editions, Eterna Noctis. That is an absolute beast, only released in Europe. Not sure if something that chunky was worth it for that game, but hey, why not? Dead Bunny's YouTube sent in this photo, picking up the Heretic and Hexen double pack. That was a really big one for Limited Run, and I do hope VGP will be getting it in their next batch, which should be in a week or 2. D's Nut sent in this photo, picking up 2 import exclusives. Valette I can vouch for as being good, aside from the high price of course, and Card Unciel, of course I haven't played it, so I can't vouch for that. It's just cards, man, can't be doing with it. Firm Return sent in this photo. I'm wondering Sostar and Demon Gaze were from Red Art Spring clearance sale, which was absolutely nuts in terms of low prices. G Bautista 100 sent in this photo with Dark Deity 1 and 2 from Super Rare, which goes against the majority of their releases by actually being a very lengthy experience. It's certainly not their usual 2-hour game. Instacritic sent in this photo, picking up Ariana and the Elder Codex, which we've seen quite a lot. Whether it's because of me just talking about it, or just the general vibe around it, we've seen it a fair bit, and yeah, I think it might be actually quite popular. JB in My Knots sent in this photo, picking up Backbeat. I think that's one of the few limited run releases where they said, F it, we're not going to print 5,000 ESRB copies, we'll just flog the European copies instead. Jimmy A. Guerrero sent in this photo, picking up a bunch of Pretty Girls games. I'm starting to doubt we'll ever see any more of these types of releases. It's been a while since the last one. Juice 250 sent in this photo, showing off the Asian release of GigaSword, which, as you can see, came out a bit earlier than this week's Japanese release. Kevin W sent in this photo, picking up Virtual Ties, the surprising English release from Entagram. Hopefully, it means more are on the way. Lewis K sent in this photo, picking up Cavern of Dreams, which I wonder if that came from VGP's surprise stock of super rare releases. They only lasted about 30 seconds at most, which is a shame, but it's not like it's easy for them to get a hold of them for a reasonable price and in a reasonable quantity. Lux sent in this photo with the most obscure types of releases. It's clear to see at which point they gave up on their marketing style. Mojo sent in this photo. I do very much enjoy seeing proper Switch 2 cartridges in these videos. It makes me rather hopeful for the future. We need to hold on to physical media as long as possible. I know it won't be forever, but let's just keep on holding, okay? Hold the fort. Mr. Awesome sent in this photo, picking up another Switch 2 physical, one that came out last week in North America. A lot of people are very happy about it. Raven Knight sent in this rather cultured photo. It also has the import visual novel. I don't know if PlayAsia still have any stock in it because they named their game something massively unsearchable. Thankfully, I have an import list with all the links in there, and I checked and sadly, it is sold out. Super Ben Julio sent in this photo of the North American physical release of Old School Rally. It's finally out. Not sure why PM Studios pushed the release back compared to the European one, but you know, it is a decent game if you like, well, old school rally games. Surfacing for Air sent in this photo, picking up 2 very nice games. I swear I will pick up UFO 50 one day, it just looks so good. Theo sent in this photo with the 3rd volume of Prinny Presents. Personally, I think it is the best one, but it also makes me lament that we haven't seen any more. Surely NIS America or Nipponichi Software still have a nice backlog of PS2 games to mine, right? Twig E sent in this photo with one of those random European releases from Tessura Games, Third Eye Open. Once the dust settles on the Switch's life, I think people will look back on Tsura Games for their good work promoting like decent indies physically. They, my man in Japan, sent in this photo grabbing a couple of import exclusives from last week. I have learned my lesson, ladies and gentlemen. I am now aware that dorayaki does not have meat. It has bean paste, which I hate. I live in China, and every bakery is ruined by its presence, alongside meat floss. Who invented meat floss, and what are we gonna do about them? Alright, let's have a roundup. Jimmy B. The Alex Games. Lindsay S. Devil Angel. Sandra K. Pixel Art Man. Andrew R. Shane C. Dario S. Quantumi Keck. Cost 71. Metalhead Game Collector. The Family OG. Cultured Weeb. Nintendo Gamer Gal. Skip to the end. Don't skip to the end, that's their name. We're almost at the end. Gundam Base EX, or is it Bass XE? I don't know. Rick Menso. J Kiddles. Exile. The One. Superman 2K. If you want to send in your photos, the details are on the screen right now. Special thanks, as always, to my executive producers over on Patreon. Thank you so much for your support. Plus you watching right now, yeah, if you watched all the way through, you're awesome too, okay? And I want to know who you are, okay? You got two choices this time, okay? If you watched all the way through, please leave me either a dinosaur in honor of Reptilian Rising, because it's just so dumb, or a castle in honor of Castle of Shikigami, the three of them. Go watch some of my other stuff and have a fantastic day, week, month, and year. I'll see you tomorrow in the next video. Take care.